Greetings, I'm Emma, a 36-year-old mother of Andrew, a fantastic 7-year-old. My life has been somewhat crazy lately, and I can only blame my awful ex-husband for it. You recognize the kind. The one you wish you had handled long ago. He is that. We went through some major life experiences together, having met in college. After graduating, we relocated to Chicago and helped one another out when we first started working. I don't want to exaggerate, but we created a life together. Josh was never particularly wealthy or accomplished. He was just an ordinary man. We got connected after my mom's cancer diagnosis, which came at a vulnerable time for me. Josh offered me the support I needed when he came around at that point. Then, on a very special Thanksgiving, Josh stunned everyone by popping the question. I said yes, since it was such a lovely moment. We made the decision to get married, and my parents gave us their mansion as a wedding present. It was a wonderful gesture, and a wonderful beginning to our life as husband and wife. Then came our baby boy, Andrew. Josh felt adrift, but becoming a mother gave me clarity about my life and purpose. Josh was having trouble. He was constantly changing jobs, never remaining at one for longer than a month, while I was doing well in my lucrative work. Our partnership had a difficult period. I initially believed that things would improve, but Josh started acting differently in small ways. He appeared dissatisfied with his financial circumstances. It shouldn't have mattered, because I made more money than he did, but it wounded his pride. One day, I found some clues that suggested Josh was involved in illegal activities. I couldn't confront him directly because I knew he'd feel attacked and get defensive. I knew the company he worked for and was surprised by how much money he seemed to be making. It just didn't add up. It felt like I was walking on eggshells around him, and it was really tough. Finally, I had enough. One evening, I got the courage to have a serious talk with him. To my surprise, he didn't get defensive. He admitted to the illegal stuff and his messed up reasons for doing it. He told me he'd been using the company's credit cards for his own expenses and embezzling money. He said it hurt his ego that I earned more than him and that we lived in a house that was mine, not his. When Andrew was born, things got even worse for him. He felt ashamed that he wasn't the one providing for our family, and he got tangled up in embezzlement to make more money. His confession about the illegal activities was the final blow to our already fragile relationship. My priority was Andrew, my sweet little boy. I couldn't stand the thought of him growing up with a father involved in criminal activities. Josh was not the role model I wanted for him, and I was scared of the consequences of Josh's actions on our family. Who knew what he would do next, and how it would affect our lives? I couldn't take that risk, especially with Andrew's future at stake. I wanted the best for my son, so I did what any mother would do. We got a divorce and shared custody of Andrew. Breaking free from the toxic situation we were in was scary, but it was also freeing. It's been a smooth year and a few months since the divorce, and things were going well. We had a system. Josh would take Andrew on weekends, and we kept communication minimal. Josh mentioned getting married again, and honestly, if he finds someone who makes him happy, that's his business. Our divorce wasn't even that messy. So it was just an ordinary Monday morning. Andrew got on the school bus, and I started my day. I did some chores and took our dog, Archer, for a walk. Just typical mom stuff. I work as a social media manager for a lifestyle magazine, so I mostly work from home except for 2 days in the office. I was in my study, getting into my work groove, when I heard a woman's voice calling my name from downstairs. It didn't sound like any of my close friends dropping by for a surprise visit. I went downstairs, and there she was, a blonde woman who had barged into my house. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her at first. Then it hit me. It was Claire, Josh's new wife. Emma, finally, I think we need to talk. Oh, hi, Claire. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But go ahead. So how long do you plan on staying here? I mean, okay, Josh helped you out at first because you're the mother of his child, and because Andrew is with you. But I think it's time you figured out your stuff. It's been months. Hold up. What are you talking about, Claire? I'm just tired of living in a tiny apartment. It's cramped, and I couldn't even invite my family and friends over for Christmas. It's really tough to make memories in such a small space. I can see why you and Andrew love it here. It's like a dream home. But the truth is, this place belongs to Josh, and he's been kind enough not to say anything about it. Still, I want a fresh start, a new life right here. I just want us to find a solution that works for everyone. Maybe we could look for a place nearby, somewhere where you and Andrew could still have stability, and I could create a home with Josh. You need to leave. Who told you that? Claire, this house belongs to me. I inherited it from my parents. No need to hide it from me. Josh already told me how you've been spreading rumors that the house is yours and bad-mouthing him for not being successful. I don't know what's going on between you two, but talking negatively about a guy who's letting you stay under his roof? Think about your son. What kind of picture are you painting of his dad? Hold on, Claire. I'm curious. Who's been telling you all this? Let me set things straight. This house is definitely mine. And honestly, Josh is the last person I want to talk about. But Josh said that he owns this place and that it's his. Why would I lie to you? I can show you the paperwork that proves this house is mine. When I got married, my parents gifted me this place and made me the owner. And as for getting my life together, I already have a job that supports me and my son. I don't know what to believe anymore. I was pretty sure Josh had kept Claire in the dark about the house's ownership. Do you have some time, Claire? Yes, I do. Great. Let's sit down and have a chat. Can I get you something to drink? Coffee, tea, maybe some water? A cup of tea would be nice. Claire followed me into the living room and sat on the couch. I headed upstairs to find the paperwork, understanding that Claire needed proof. And I couldn't blame her. Who knows how long Josh had been lying to her about the house? After finding the documents, I returned to the living room and handed them to Claire. While she looked through the paperwork, I prepared some hot peppermint tea for us. I'm sorry for blaming you like that, Claire said. It's not an excuse, but you have no idea about the things Josh has been saying about you. What kind of things? I asked. All kinds of stuff, Claire replied. He said you were suspicious and crazy during your marriage, and that he had to divorce you because he couldn't handle it anymore. He even pretends to be concerned about Andrew having a mom like you. Josh has been spreading a false story to me and everyone else, claiming that he owns this mansion. According to him, after the divorce, you were struggling and needed time to get back on your feet. As a supposed act of kindness, he offered you this place to stay. He's been boasting about this at dinner parties with his work friends and on vacations with my family. It's like he's turned it into his favorite topic whenever someone mentions you or the divorce. He even said he gave you warning signs, implying that you were clinging to the house. I couldn't believe the rumors Josh had been spreading about me. He was totally trashing my reputation, making it seem like I was a helpless mess after the divorce, relying on his so-called kindness for support. To be honest, I never really doubted Claire for a second. Josh had always been a shady character with his own secrets. The main reason for our separation was his involvement in white-collar crimes. Back then, I was still kind of hung up on him, which made me hesitant to expose him. I thought I was in love, but looking back, I definitely made a mistake. I was in a tough spot when it came to Josh. I didn't want him anywhere near our son, but at the same time, I didn't want to see him end up in prison. So, I made an excuse about growing out of the relationship and decided to leave quietly. But finding out he'd been acting all high and mighty, going around like he was my knight in shining armor, I wasn't going to let that slide. Claire, there's something you need to know. I'm not sure what Josh told you about why we separated, but I haven't been completely honest with you either. What do you mean? Claire asked, looking curious. You see, Josh was involved in embezzlement. Yeah, it was a tough situation. I confronted Josh about his actions, and he finally confessed to using his company's credit card for his own personal use. I was torn between wanting to protect him and feeling the need to do what was right. In the end, I decided not to turn him into the police, but I think he got away with it. Wait, Emma, you're saying Josh, my husband, got tangled up in freaking embezzlement? Seriously? I can't even wrap my head around that. I know, I didn't believe it either. I wanted to protect Andrew from all of this. Josh was still my husband, and I couldn't bring myself to turn him in. But I did what I thought was best for Andrew. I didn't want him to grow up with a father involved in illegal activities. I had to put his safety and future first. Wait, what if he's still pulling off fraud? He never got caught for what he did. If he's not been caught, he's probably still at it. This is blowing my mind. I mean, this is the guy I married. Sorry, I'm just processing all of this. It's a lot to handle. I need to figure out if he's still tangled up in that mess. We can't just let it slide this time. Well, I can think of a plan. Isn't Josh's birthday in 2 weeks? Yes, it is. I've got a genius plan to finally expose him to everyone. Claire, you won't believe the epic idea I've got. Picture this. What if you asked Josh if we could throw his birthday bash at, well, let's just call it his mansion, my place. Use all your powers of persuasion until he can't resist saying a big fat yes. We'll invite all his work buddies, basically everyone he's ever met, and then comes the piece de resistance. We'll drop a super special announcement and give him his birthday surprise. Count me in. Take down my number. Claire totally nailed convincing Josh about the big party. When he came to pick up Andrew for their weekend together, he asked me about it. Hey, Emma, I need to ask you for a favor. Of course, Josh. What is it? Well, Claire wants to throw a big birthday celebration for me, and she wants to invite all my coworkers, her family, and pretty much everyone she knows. The thing is, our place is like a sardine can, and it's just not going to fit all those people. So I was wondering if you'd be willing to let us use your mansion for the party. Andrew would be thrilled about the idea as well. Josh was completely oblivious to the trap we had set for him. Little did he know he was walking right into our carefully crafted plan. All right, Josh. I'll think about it. The mansion is available, but I'll need to check with work to see if I can get the day off. I'll let you know. Thanks, Emma, he said. Oh, there's something else. I know it's a big favor to ask, but could you pretend that the mansion is mine during the party? It would be embarrassing in front of my coworkers and in-laws if they found out I had to borrow your place. I don't want to look like a total loser. And, maybe let's not tell Claire about it either. Typical Josh. Well, I don't know, Josh. That seems like a pretty huge thing to keep a secret. I'll have to think about it. but I can't guarantee anything. I know. It's a bit of a stretch, but just think about it. I'd owe you a lot if you'd help me out. Okay, I've got to go now. Just text me and let me know. Bye. And just like that, everything fell into place. I texted Claire, letting her know that the plan was a go, and asked her to send out the invites for Josh's big day. A few days later, I gave Josh the green light to celebrate his birthday at my place, and promised to keep his little secret. The big day had finally arrived. Josh's birthday. He walked in with Claire, and we acted all casual. But little did he know that we had a whole plan brewing behind the scenes. Andrew was pumped to see his dad, but I couldn't ignore the hurt and betrayal I felt. I had protected Josh and kept his secrets, and in return, he spread lies about me and our marriage. I was done being the good guy, and it was time to change that. As the guests started rolling in, I couldn't help but observe Josh putting on his charming act, trying to look perfect and flawless. But little did he know that his lies were about to be exposed. All of his friends, co-workers, and family members filled my house, totally clueless about what was going to happen. Finally, when almost everyone had arrived, Claire and I gathered everyone around. Hey everyone! So we're all gathered here to give a shout out to Josh today. But you know, if we're going to raise a glass to the guy, it's only fair that you know what he's really about. It's easy to talk smack and spread gossip, but believe me, the truth has a way of showing up. Now you might be curious about how Claire and I, the ex and the current wife, can actually get along. Well, here's the bond. We've both been through the Josh experience, and he has been fooling us both. Whoa, hold up, Emma. What's going on? Did you maybe hit the drinks a bit too hard? Josh interrupted. No worries, everyone. You can just go back to whatever you were up to. I have the situation under control, I said, maintaining my composure. Hey, Josh, just give her a chance to speak, Claire said. I know Josh might have been running his mouth and spreading lies about me, making me look like the crazy one for divorcing him or whatever. But let me set the record straight. There is only one reason why I left him, and that is because he was involved in some shady fraud. Thanks to Claire, the truth came out. Josh has been yapping about how this mansion belongs to him. Well, newsflash, it's actually mine. I've been working hard to raise my kid while Mr. Fraud over here has been stealing money from companies. The truth behind why I split with Josh is that he was mixed up in embezzlement. I didn't have the guts to call him out on it before, but I'm not holding back anymore. Emma, I don't know what you've been telling Claire, but I promise you, it's not what you think. You guys, there's been a mistake. Josh tried to regain control. Cut the crap, Josh. Claire snapped. Emma's been real with me, and I know all about your sketchy stuff. It's hard to believe I fell for your stories. Seriously, did you marry me just because you needed a new crash pad after Emma gave you the boot? Well, people, just so you know, the authorities are in the loop, and they'll be showing up any moment. It looks like this party is a no-go today, seeing as this is my place and not Josh's. You're all free to take off. Are you for real, Emma? You wrecked everything for me, Josh shouted. And Claire, seriously, you were in on this? How could you go behind my back with my wife? You too? I'm out of here. The cops are on their way, Josh. It might be a good move to get your lawyer to sort this out, I said. And that's how I finally took care of what needed to be done a long time ago. From what I heard from Claire, there was an ongoing investigation into Josh, and he was found guilty of stealing from the company he used to work for. Not just that, his current company also discovered some unexplainable changes in their accounting records. It turns out he was still up to his old tricks, stealing from people. As a result, he had to pay a hefty fine of $110,000 and is now facing a 2-year prison sentence. I eventually had to tell Andrew the truth about his father and how bad of a man he was, even though I tried to protect him from all of this for as long as I could. Though it has been difficult for him, he realizes the circumstances and occasionally still misses his father. Lifting the veil on Josh's dubious actions and exposing him has felt like a weight taken off my shoulders. I now feel so much more free. It is true that, since everyone deserves a second chance, there are moments when you want to put your faith in them and offer them your full trust. However, there are those, like Josh, who never seem to change. I'm embracing being a single mother to the fullest. Andrew's happiness and well-being are my top priorities, and I won't allow anyone to let us down ever again. Additionally consoling has been my bond with Claire. It's strange how unanticipated friendships may arise in life. It's as though I have resolved my outstanding issues and moved on.